welcome back to my channel. If it is your very first time watching, welcome. Today we're going to talk about RM43. So RM43 is a total vegetation killer. It is something that you would use nowhere near anything else that you want to live or that you're going to consume. As you can see here, it says that it kills weeds and prevents weeds for up to 1 year. Use on fence rows and around farm buildings and barns. Do not apply in root zone of desirable trees, plants, and shrubs. And that is exactly it. So I did a video last year. My first time using RM43, I switched over from Eraser Max. I wanted to give this a go because this is a more affordable product. Still pricey, but you know, different sprays like this are. But anyways, cheaper than Eraser Max. So I tried this for the very first time last year. I did a video. I intended to show updates throughout the video or throughout the season, but it just didn't happen. But it has been over a year, and I can now show you an update, show you how it lasted for the up to a year. You know that it states. And I'm about to spray for this coming year. So right now, this is the beginning of May. It's actually May 1st. And I am in South Central Pennsylvania, so your weather might be a little different than mine. Ideally, I would have sprayed this a couple weeks ago, but I'm behind schedule. So let me just show you some areas, some footage, where I sprayed last year, and I'll also show you a little more about the product. If you have interest in seeing the video of me spraying last year, I actually show some footage of some vegetation that I sprayed, and I show it dying off. I will link that right about in here somewhere, so you can click it and you can see how long it took to, you know, knock it out, what kind of vegetation we're talking about, how thick, and so on and so forth. So there were some areas that I sprayed that I typically sprayed with like Eraser Max, and then there were some areas that were just kind of out of control vegetation that I sprayed. So you might like to see that for some reference. And I talk a little bit more about some differences between Eraser Max and RM43. So right here is an area that I consistently spray. A couple years worth of Eraser Max and then last year of RM43. So right along here, this fence row, down in, and you can see there is some breakthrough. And here again. You can kind of just see all along this fence row. You can kind of see the row of brown. Now when I spray, I try to get a little of both sides of the fence and around the pole. And then if I happen to see any thistles, I'll hit them a little bit with it. Hate thistles. They are just so resistant. About a month ago, there was nothing. There was nothing here. You can see some stuff is popping through. And as I said, it has been over a year now. You can even see some dead, you know, vegetation from last year and my spraying. Here's another area. I am having some breakthrough over here. I have these large rocks, and you can see this where you see soil. I kind of spray around these because they are hard to trim around, mow around, remember where they are. Here you see some thistles breaking through. Can't wait to zap them this year. Now also in regards to spraying, you know, it is possible that I don't get a particular area really well. I do try to get things fairly well saturated, but if there is a lot of vegetation, I may not get down to the soil. And the important thing with these total vegetation killers is that you not only get the leaf of the plant, but that you moisten the soil a little bit, because not only are we killing the vegetation that is there, we are killing the seeds that are in the soil. So that is important. So your application is a little different than if you were just, spraying a different type of spray. Like I use a different spray for around my fruit trees, for around other trees, for around flower beds. Places I can't use Eraser Max. And those sprays, they're not going to kill for a year. They're going to kill for 3 months if I'm lucky, 2 probably more likely, maybe 6 if we have a ton of rain. But anyways, with the total vegetation killer, you do want to really saturate the soil. And this strip here is, I must have done a little better with my application, but this is over a year. Over a year, and this is what this has been like. Isn't that awesome? I have another area I want to show you that I spray Eraser Max. This is like aside from what I want to show you. Do you see these thistles? Ugh, they're just like invading. I hate them. I'm going to, and really, I mean, this one here is growing at my spray path, but the others are not really growing at my spray path. They're just kind of spreading over the spray path. They're just they are quite literally a thorn in my side. Over here, there was a fence. Here you can see where it was, all that brown is where that fence was. We just kind of offset that one. Now, I'm not gonna go Thompson all the way down there, but if you see down past the cows there's some smaller calves, and to the right of it is a corner that is predominantly brown. Let me just kind of zoom in a little for you. So that is the area in my video last year I showed you with extremely heavy vegetation. When we mow that corner, we can't really get it. Right now we have animals grazing it, so that's not a problem, but when we mow it, we just can't get that corner well. And I sprayed that entire corner with the Eraser Max. It was extremely high, not Eraser Max. I sprayed it with RM43, not Eraser Max. Hi, Whitey. Hi. Hi, Taco. And the vegetation was extremely thick and extremely high, and it killed it off. I must have done pretty well on my saturation because there's a little breakthrough. You can see there is a little breakthrough, but all in all, it's pretty well knocked out, even still. I'll be honest with you. There have been times where I have tested the rules of RM43 or Eraser Max. I have used them closer to things than I should have, just because, maybe I really didn't want vegetation coming up along this flower bed, and I thought, I have killed things. So don't use it anywhere near. I believe it is within 3 feet of a root system of something that you want to keep, or of something that is of value to you. Don't do it. There's really high chances you will kill it. It is extremely potent stuff. And so there is one more area I want to show you that I do spray, but all in all, I'm pleased with RM43. An advantage to it that I like is that it is dyed a red color, which kind of makes it a little easier for me with my sprayer. I have a mixes on exit sprayer, and it just kind of helps me a little bit more with the mixing and knowing that the mixing is occurring versus the color that Eraser Max was. Right up here, we're approaching an area that is a problem area for me. I have certain places that I just have a lot of stuff growing up through my rocks. This is one of them, and I would love to hit it really hard with Eraser Max. But the reality is that I will probably lose these boxwoods that I'm trying to grow into a hedge. I will probably damage this tree. I don't have many trees. This is one of my larger trees, and I do not want to do that. So really it's not a suitable area. And I'm going to show you why I believe it would damage this tree. I'm going to actually show you physical evidence. Okay, so this tree here, I have 2 trees just like this, twin trees. They were planted by a previous owner, not myself. I don't know exactly what they are, but they're some sort of flowering tree. Probably some sort of flowering, non-producing cherry or something by the bark, but I don't know. Okay, so I'll show you the other tree here shortly, but also right near a fence line, also a fence line, I spray with Eraser Max. And you can see here, this is how it's looking from last year. Here I must not have hit it really well, but then here I did a little better. This tree is just fine. Now the other tree, the other twin tree is directly over there, and we're gonna go over there and take a look at it. Okay, do you see it? Do you see the fullness of the leaf system there? Or... yeah, it's like half dead, right? Well, last year it was more than half dead. It was like, I don't know, much worse. There was very little life on it. And I believe it is because I sprayed Eraser Max, not last year, but the year before, here, along this fence. So this is the same fence as that other fence down yonder I showed you. Except last year, I didn't spray it with Eraser Max, obviously. That's how it looks without Eraser Max. I did use regular spray, safe for under trees. But I was not wanting to poison my tree any more than I already had. And I'm hoping for it to make a recovery. It appears that it might, since it's better than last year. But I fully attribute that to using the Eraser Max right here along this fence row. Now there are other things that it did not impact. That tree there, it's not leafed out yet. That's a persimmon tree. They are one of the later ones to get leaves. Actually, always at my house, the latest, all of my different persimmons. That's an Asian persimmon. It was just fine last year, but you can probably also see I did not spray Eraser Max anywhere near it, just for fear. Must have just been, you know, just right. I don't know, but it knocked it out. And I've had a couple other little things that it has impacted. So I no longer am using it here. I would love to spray all of this and not deal with it, but I really want to keep this tree. So around my clothesline post is another area I like to spray. You can see this is doing really well. Now this other post over here, I have to use a different type of spray because right beside it is a grapevine, and I do not want to compromise that grapevine there. So I do this one with the Eraser Max or RM43 this past year, and I will use it again. And this one down here again was RM43. Also here around this thing, I'm forgetting what that is right now, but that's RM43. Anything that I can spray it around, I will. All of our sand mound apparatus things that come out of the ground, I spray it around. Just whatever I can. Here's my setup for spraying. I do have some different videos on this Chapin Mixes on Exit sprayer. I like it. Sometimes it gives me dilemmas, but I do like it. This is the 15-gallon one, and you can see I have a RM43 on here now. See, it used to say Eraser Max. Now it's RM43. And that's how I use the concentration. So I'm using 6 ounces per gallon of water when I spray. But you can read the bottle. There's all sorts of different information on there. Definitely be sure to do your research. So that concludes it. I'm pleased with RM43. I hope that this video was helpful to you. Share with me in the comments what you're using to spray, what's working, what's not working. Oh, it's such a such a wild and wonderful world of vegetation out there. Anyways, I will talk to you again soon. Have a great day.